Hi everybody, welcome to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim, and this is a channel where we talk about everything to do with crafting. So from amigurumi to weaving and anything in between, if you like crafting and being creative, stick around. You're going to like it here. Me and the girls are just chilling out this morning. Should have worn my hat. Oh my goodness. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Kim. Kind of starting our day with a nice cup of whatever, tea, coffee, juice, whatever gets your day started. Got a new mug. I was trying to put my logo on it, and for some reason my Cricut machine is acting up. So I have to call, customer service, but they don't open till 9. It's a thing. So anyway, I have a lot to fill you in on. So as you heard from my videos that are on my thing, or maybe you didn't, I have hit 1,000 subscribers. Yay, happy dance, happy fingers. Yeah, so that happened. Super excited. Super grateful to everybody that clicks that button. Here's the deal. Somebody watched one of my videos and in their head said, yeah, I want to see what else she has to say. And they clicked on subscribe. That's the thing to me that's blowing my mind. I retired from my job to do this full time, and it seems to be working. So I'm kind of excited. What else? Yesterday, I'm a big kid now. I have my library card. Woohoo! So I have to. So here's the deal. I can create a login, and they have audiobooks, they have gaming, they have all sorts of stuff, which is really, really cool. So I can't wait to go. And it's funny because it's not just your little private public library anymore. This is part of the Southern Adirondack Library System. So I have my own little card. I have my own little number. I talked to the woman yesterday. Super nice. And I told you I had, sorry, I always talk like you guys are all just hanging. Look at, I can't. I'm sorry. That's funny. I might have to move them because that's just silly. Maybe I'll just move me here. I'll just move me over. No, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. But anyway, that's cracking me up. Where was I? So I went in and I talked to the woman. I can't stop looking at the girls. Maybe I'll move them over there. Anyway, I went in and I talked to the woman that runs the library. And she said she knew I was coming because I had chatted the other day with the other woman that works there. And I walked in. I'm like, I'm Kim. She goes, oh, I knew you were coming. I was waiting for you. I was like, wow. So they're going to be distracting me the whole time. So I was talking first. I said to her, well, first thing I want to do is I want to set up a library card. Hold on. I just need my chapstick. And she's like, absolutely, we can do that. I said, cool. So she hands me all the forms and stuff, and it will fill out the form. Where do you live? Phone number, email. And so I fill all that out. And then I said to her, I said, okay, so now once she gave me my little card, I said to her, I would like to talk about crochet classes. And she's like, yeah. She goes, the group that meets here every third Thursday of the month, great group of people. She said they all work with all different kinds of, what's the word she used? I know it's a word and I can't think of it, but all different kinds of yarn and material related. I know it's a word and I can't think of it. Sorry. Anyway, she said it's a great group of people, and all they do is they get in and they just do their crafting together. She said, but some of them had asked her if anybody showed any interest in classes. And she's like, so this is perfect timing. She said, you'll fit right in with them. And, it's a great group. So, and I told her, I said, and it wouldn't have to be every third Thursday. I said, I could do it every Thursday. Give it a little more consistency, give it a little more bite, So that would be awesome, right? Hopefully that works out. I'm just realizing how much purple I have in my world. Just sitting right here. I've got my purple coffee mug, my purple mouse. The yarn I'm working on with my knitting is sitting right there, and it's got purple in it. My keyboard's purple. This, my journal, it's not really purple, but shades of pink. So I added a page to my journal. I figured I'd added a page of vintage yarn that I found. Where I found it, I thought it was cool. And then I did a page for my 1,000. In my defense, this was at about 11 o'clock last night. Normally I'm in bed by 9. So I just figured I'd write 1,000 as many times as I could. And then I added a page for my random acts of crochet kindness. I got to write that down because I gave him his own little page. So maybe I'll put a list of where I've put them if I can remember. I'll list the ones I can remember. That'll be fun. I sent a couple people, excuse me, messages about the book for Wednesday's book club. So I'm really excited. There's some people, new people signing up. So that's really exciting. One other thing that I wanted to mention was I'm still working on my watch hours. What do I need? Hold on. I need 380 watch hours. So I'm trying. I tried to explain to my sister, excuse me, just leave it up in the background. You don't even have to listen to me. Just put it on. Just put it on so it looks like you're watching me. Maybe I'll text my friend and see if she'll do it. And then I have another friend who keeps saying, oh, I will, I promise. And she hasn't watched one yet, but she's very busy. I do like this mug. So I found it at Goodwill yesterday for $1. And then I looked it up. It's a Zach brand. See that? So I looked it up, and this is like a $25 mug. Who knew? I like it. And of course, it's purple. It doesn't look purple. I'm looking at the display. It almost looks like an aqua. Can you see it here? No? No, it does that. Does this look purple? That's all I gotta say is So I hope you get a chance to check out the videos I put up yesterday. Super simple, back to basic videos. I'm going to put up a couple more today. Keeping in the same theme of you're new to crochet and you want to learn about it. So I'm going to go over some terminology. I'm going to go over some types of yarn. I never knew what worsted yarn was. Never knew what felting was, So all of the things that I've learned while crocheting, I'm going to do a video to show somebody, here's what we're all talking about. Kind of like my friend the other day in the chat during the live video. She was like, stop using abbreviations. Those of us that don't crochet don't know. And it was like CAL for crochet along, BOD, bag a day. That one, that's for those of us that watch her. But CAL, crochet along, is, So I figure, you know what? I've already had somebody thank me for it. So, she said she's very new to crochet. She wants to learn as much as possible. I'm sharing what I've learned over 2 years, Hopefully give her a jump start, or anybody a jump start. I did do some more rows on my knitting. And for those of you that missed the live last night, I just popped on for a minute. It was an emergency live. I found these, and I actually now know that they are what I use them for. They are there to stop the needles from sliding out. So I'm learning still. I just need to get faster at it. I know. It takes time. You guys know me by now. Get it done. I got something else to do. Get it done. Speaking of something else to do, I have to get in the garage today. So I'm starting now. I have boxes and stuff in there from the winter because I don't always feel like going outside in the winter. I don't like to be cold. So I will just put stuff on a shelf or on a counter or wherever. And then once the weather gets warmer, I'll organize it. So I have to organize stuff that still needs to go into the Christmas decorations, stuff that needs to go back into the camper, stuff that needs to be set aside to sell at the flea market. So that's my day for today. But while I was because I started a little bit of it last night after the eclipse, my brother gave me 3 boxes of vintage Christmas ornaments. They're so beautiful. I'm talking hand-blown glass, and I'm talking crocheted Christmas balls, and I'm talking, I mean, it's just blow your mind kind of stuff, you know? And there's actually some stuff, I made a separate box. There's some stuff in there that really you can use other times of the year than Christmas. So I'm going to make some sort of sun catcher. What comes to mind is a disco ball. All right. But, well, there might be 1 or 2 in that. They're little. But my point being, I'm going to hang it in the middle of my pergola out there. And the sun's going to hit it and sparkle off of everything. So I think that'll be cool. I started working on that area yesterday. Boy, the deck, it really gets like, I don't know, cluttered with stuff for the winter, you know? It's like, but that's it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, I don't want to do it. And then once you do it, you're like, what the heck was I whining about? That's not that bad. So that's where I'm at today. I think I'm going to make myself focus on the garage. I'm not going to allow myself to go out on that deck yet. Because once I do, then I start playing in the dirt because my flowers are out there. And I'm like, ooh, I could plant these and this and that. And I'm still a couple weeks. I'm going to wait till May 1st to put anything, which I have to do because I don't have a heater in my greenhouse. I mean, I suppose if I had a heater, I do have little ones. Wonder if I could run one in there, which I still may need to do May 1st. You know what I mean? March, April, and May are just mean months. They do what they want when they want here in upstate New York. So speaking of the weather, did you guys get a chance to see the eclipse yesterday? So I made that box. I actually made 2 of them, but Mr. Fortunate left his home, didn't use his. So I brought it to the neighbor. He's an older gentleman, and he was out puttering around in his yard. And I walk up and I hand it to him. I didn't say a word. Well, I said hi. And he's like, what's this? And he saw I was holding one. And I put it up to my eye and I turned my back to the sun. So all he did was exactly what I did. And all of a sudden he goes, that's cool. So I gave him the spare box and he was able to watch the eclipse. We had a perfect view of it here. It did get pretty dark. It's kind of cool. Um, so I couldn't figure out. I was watching it like on CNN, and there's people that were like looking up at the sky with no glasses on, and I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, it's all over the news. Your eyes will fall out or whatever if you look at the sun. Besides, your whole life you've been taught don't look directly at the sun, right? So I did some Google research, and it turns out that the moment that it's fully covered, it's completely behind, you might just see the glow, not a line, but the glow around the entire thing. You are allowed to look up because the sun is covered. So that's what they were doing. I think they were in Mexico, I believe. And they were at full coverage, or whatever they call it, full something. And they were able to look at it without glasses, which nobody explained while they were watching it. So here I am looking at, I'm like, what are they doing? They're looking at the eclipse without glasses. So you think one of the newscasters on CNN would have been like, oh, and they can look at it now because it's full blockage or whatever they called it, to explain to the rest of us why they were able to look at. I'm like, is it because they're in Mexico? Who knows? I didn't know. Of course, I was asking myself, talking to myself and the girls. We're just chilling. Seriously, they're cracking me up. She's got her purse. I think that purse would over here would go good with her. Maybe I'll get them all dressed up and ready for the flea market. I also found, I'm not sure if I can explain what they are, but well, yeah, they're like easels, old fashioned wrought iron easels, um, that I can use to drape stuff over. I can put a poncho on it or something like that. I mean, they're amazing. 2 of them for $4. So I was like, yes, please. They were a little weird putting them in the cart because they're taller than me. And I was like, this is just, I'm going to poke either my own eye out or I'm going to poke somebody. But I didn't. I just rearranged the cart. I got a bigger cart and threw it in there so that I didn't poke anybody. And it didn't fall over, which I thought for sure it would fall over, but it did not. So, yeah, I hadn't been to Goodwill for a few days. And they put stuff out every day. And part of me is like, well, you should check it today because you never know what's there or what are you missing, I could see that easily becoming a wormhole for me. But what if they put something cool out and you missed it, right? So I stopped in. I'm not going today. I'm not allowing myself to do any sort of treasure hunt today. But to make it even more difficult, Mr. Fortunate and I were watching TV last night, and he was scanning through the guide to see what was on. And he saw something that said Elton John. Well, he knows, that's a no-brainer with me. Put it on. Let's see what's going on. It was PBS, and it turned out not to be Elton John. It was the Antique Roadshow. We had never watched it before, and I think I might be obsessed with it now because it is exactly why I go on treasure hunts. You don't know, and people don't know what they're throwing out, or people don't care, especially like, and I experienced it, not that I didn't care, but I got overwhelmed when my mom passed away. There was so much in the house, so much that you're bound to miss something that's worth something, you know, especially with, our parents now, 90s and up. They've got a lot of really cool stuff. And I just got to the point where I was overwhelmed. and I donated it, or I got one of the local junk people to come and take it, and they'd take it and they resell it or whatever. But we're watching this show last night, and he and I just kept looking at each other like, are you kidding me? This woman had just a bowl. It was a bowl. And she's like, well, it was at my grandfather's, and it belonged to my grandmother, and she passed away. And then when my grandfather passed away, the family gave it to me because I'm the only girl, blah, blah, blah. So she ends up with this bowl. The bowl ended up being $75,000. Let that sink in for a minute. $75,000 for a bowl that sat on her grandparents' table for 30 years. So this other woman had a baseball bat, and it came from her grandmother, who was a big baseball person. And I guess there was this one baseball player who was really good. I have no idea the name. I didn't commit that to memory, but turns out he hit a home run, threw the bat like to the fans, and somehow her grandmother ended up with it. And it turned out to be the last time he ever played baseball, because he was in a car accident and became paralyzed from the waist down. So that baseball bat was the baseball bat for the last home run he ever hit before he was injured. And they got it for nothing because, he tossed it into the crowd or whatever. And $130,000 it was worth. What? Sad story about him. Yes, I get it. And I don't remember the name. But how crazy is that? So you just never know what's hanging around. And so Mr. Fortunate looks at me and he goes, get up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and go to all of the thrift stores. I said, well, they don't open until 9. He goes, get online, wait at the door. I said, see, you just never know. I said, well, let me look through the stuff I got left from Mom's first. Because you just never know what the heck I got there. I still have an original little school desk. So when I was 4 years old, my aunt came up from Long Island, as they would say it. My mom's from Long Island. And her sister, my aunt, came up to visit, and she brought me a little school desk. Tiny toddler school desk. Solid wood, with the drawer and the... Oh my goodness, I loved that thing. I would sit and watch Romper Room with it and do my coloring on it and all of that stuff. And then when my daughter was born, she used it. I had it right in the living room, and she would sit at it every morning for her snack, and she loved it. So I've been saving it all this time for when she has a child, and now she has my grandson. So I'm going to sand it all down, repaint the black. It's got like wrought iron accents on it. I don't know if they're wrought iron, just metal of some steel, maybe. I'm going to repaint it, restain it, and bring it back to its original, or as close as I can get. I've never done it, so I'm not sure. But I bought the sandpaper, and that's just one of those things that no matter what it's worth, I'll never get rid of that. Well, I will give it to my grandson, and hopefully my daughter will never get rid of that. So I can just see him sitting there watching his Nickelodeon or whatever kids watch now. My daughter used to watch Nick Jr. And if you think about it, this one character that was on there, Drop Stitch. This one character that was on there was so creepy. His name was Face. Was it just Face? And he was this big circle that was on the screen. He's like, hi there, Face here. And she would hear him and run into the living room. If she was anywhere in the house, she would hear him and dart Hi, face. So, hi there, face here. I don't know if that's what the kids watch anymore, but hopefully my little grandson will be sitting at that desk watching whatever they watch now. And he won't even know that it came from Grandma, but it did. So I think I've decided what I want to be called. I would like to be called Grams. And the reason I say that is I wanted to be called Grammy. But my son-in-law's mother, all of her grandchildren call her Grammy. So I'm not going to be like, well, I don't want him to call you that, because, it'd be consistent. Everybody calls her Grammy. So Grams works. Grams works for me. For now, we'll see what he decides. I mean, he might decide something totally different. He might be like, yeah, nope, you're whatever. I think I told you guys my sister had a grandchild that called her Bob. I can't. Called her Bob because my niece used to call her Mom, and the kid was just hearing Bob. So, oh, if you knew my sister, that would be just so perfect. There you go. Look, I hid the slip stitch. On this side, it looks terrible. But on that side, it's fixed, sort of. Maybe not. So, all right. Well, the sun's up, which means I got to get out in that dang garage and start my work before I get starting on something else in here. And then, the day goes by. Like I said, crafting is a time machine for me. All of a sudden, I look up, it's 3:00. I'm like, wait, where did the world go? Plus, I have to take Fritzy for a walk up to the mailbox. Our mailbox is about, I don't know, almost a little over a quarter of a mile up the road, because we live on a private dirt road and the mailman doesn't come down here unless he has a package that will not fit in there. I'm just going to tie that for the moment. I don't know how to fix that. If any of you have an idea how I can really fix this stitch, let me know. I'm sure there is one. Right now I just tied it. It's terrible. But I couldn't stand the hole anymore. So if you know how to really fix it, let me know. I'm going to put the tops back on here. Different size tops for different size. Oh, did I show you? I don't think I did. Hold on. I know I said I got to go, but now I got to show you something. I found oh boy, I'm making a mess. We all know that sound. We've all heard it before. Dropping hooks. So there's nothing like that sound, right? I found like a full set. So I have, these are cool. They're like plastic. And they're size 10. I'm using 8. So these are 10. These, I would say, are 9. These are 17. These are 11. These are 9. Well, so I have 2 of those. These say the number 1 on them, but they're thick. All right, where was I? Sorry, the camera, this program only allows me to do a half hour at a time, and I forgot to watch the time. So anyway, those other ones are the same size as the other ones. So I think they're like a 9, but they don't have any other writing on them. And then these are 10 and 8. So I really have 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, 10. So I don't know if I need any different sizes. I don't know. I saw a lot of 8s and a lot of 10s, so I'm guessing those are the average sizes. I don't know. So anyway, the store I found them at tape them together. So there's a whole strip of sticky. I hope the Dawn dishwashing liquid when I wash them, because I have to wash them, if the yarn will stick. I mean, if I get something as long as the project I'm working on now, the yarn's going to stick. And then I will not get it out. Or I will not get it off. It'll be all sticky and gross. All right. So anyway, now that I went through all that to get it back recording, look at, ready? I'm going to slide down. We have the 3 heads. I know. I'm so weird. I'm sorry. But if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? Well, I can laugh at my sister, but she does too, so it's fine. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you start your Tuesday. Thank you so much for starting your day with me. Thank you all for being out there and helping me hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for everything. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be creative.